Welcome back, everyone. My name is Youssef Arel. I'm a pharmacist in the United States, and today we are continuing our series about every birth control option within the USA. In the last video, we talked about medroxyprogesterone, an injectable birth control option. Now, today we are going to be discussing IUDs, or intrauterine devices, as they're called. IUDs, as the name suggests, are medical devices that are placed within the uterus, and from there they will have an effect either through a medication that's excreted or a substance that's placed, usually copper. These IUDs are usually placed by a healthcare professional, usually by an OB-GYN. What makes IUDs recognizable is their almost T-shaped structure. So you have the main base, then you have like these little two arms that come out. These arms could fold just so they could fit into the uterus and actually get inside or be taken out. And then at the bottom you have a little string that can be used to actually remove the IUD once it is meant to be removed. Now the cool thing about IUDs is that they are the longest lasting option out of all the contraceptives that we'll discuss. Based on the type of IUD a patient's getting, they could have a effective birth control option for between 3 to 10 years, which is amazing. So that means if you, in certain products, if a patient gets it, let's say this year in 2025, they don't need to remove it, or they don't need to use another contraceptive method until 2035, which can be, obviously very desirable for patients. It's the longest lasting contraceptive that's available on the market. And the cool thing about it is that once the IUD is actually removed, the fertility returns right away. So it's almost like a best of both worlds, where you get that super long lasting effect, but if a patient decides to start having a family, they can have that fertility return right away, and they don't have to wait like a few weeks to start their plans. So there's currently two types of IUDs available. You'll have copper IUDs and hormonal IUDs. While the copper IUDs are not medicated, I will discuss them here just for the sake of completeness of the topic. So copper, when it's placed in the uterus, has a few unique functions. One, it can actually cause an inflammatory reaction within the uterus, causing the lining of the endometrius and the uterus to thicken, thus preventing implantation of the egg. So it works very similarly like progesterone in a way. And then the other function that copper has is that it's toxic to sperm cells. So it can lead to decreased sperm motility, how well the sperm moves, and also its viability, how effective the sperm is in fertilizing an egg. By that dual reaction, it is a very effective contraceptive. So copper IUDs, once they're placed in the uterus, provide protection immediately, and they can actually be used as an emergency contraceptive, and I'll discuss emergency contraceptives in a later video down the line. But moving on, there's currently two types of copper IUDs available within the US. You have the most well-known, which is Paragard. Now this IUD has been on the market for over 40 years, and it's really easily recognized by just the large amount of copper that's used. Like literally almost the whole thing is just wrapped in copper wire. Paragard is extremely effective, but it can feel very stiff and can cause pain due to its larger size. It's 32 by 36 millimeters, and it does have to be placed and removed by a healthcare professional. So that does require, clinic visits and evaluation, which can be difficult for certain patients to deal with. The other copper IUD that has come out last year, I believe, goes under the brand name Miudela. Now, what makes this copper IUD different is that it contains a lot less copper, like just way less copper than Paragard. It's also a lot more flexible, so it's meant to decrease the amount of pain that patient may experience. Miudela can be actually placed by the patient themselves, so the patient doesn't need to go to the clinic or to the office to have it placed. In terms of protection, Paragard will protect the patient and provide that contraceptive effect for 10 years, while Miudela will provide protection for 3 years. These are both highly effective long-term hormonal-free options. And in terms of the failure rate, it actually has a failure rate of 0.8%. So So that means that out of every 1,000 patients, you can expect 8 to become pregnant, which is an extremely high success rate and effectiveness rate. But we'll see that there's actually a more effective option. Now we have hormonal IUDs, with currently 4 options available. They go under the brand names Mirena, Skyla, Liletta, and Kylena. They all use the same active ingredient, being levonorgestrel, but they differ in a few things in terms of dose, length of protection, and size. They all work the same as other progesterone-only contraceptives. By just secreting progesterone, you increase the lining of the uterus and prevent an egg from being implanted into the uterus, with the adverse events and profile being the exact same as other progesterone-only options. But patients can experience pain, discomfort, or bleeding during placement, use, and removal of the IUD. I won't go too much in depth with the hormonal IUDs as they're all basically the same. Fun fact I should mention is that out of these 4 options for hormonal IUDs, 3 are actually made by the same company, Bayer, with Liletta being made by AbbVie. But yeah, so basically 75% of this hormonal IUD market is just taken up by one company, which is interesting. Very quickly going through the differences, Mirena and Liletta are dosed at 20 micrograms per day. They provide protection for up to 8 years and are both 32 by 32 millimeters. They can also be used to treat heavy periods in women who choose to use a hormonal IUD for that in the condition. Liletta is cheaper, however. Liletta is around, from what I could tell, $932, while Mirena is around $1,215. Skyla is dosed at 14 micrograms per day, provides coverage for 3 years, and is 28 by 30 millimeters, which is slightly smaller. Then finally you have Kylena, which is dosed at 17.5 micrograms per day, provides coverage for up to 5 years, and is 28 by 30 millimeters. Overall, they're practically the same. But they have the lowest failure rate out of all the contraceptives out there, with a 0.2% failure rate. So that means out of every 1,000 women using a hormonal IUD, only 2 are expected to experience pregnancy while taking it. That's all on IUDs. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and share this video. Comment on this video. Tell me what you liked, what you think we can improve on. And hopefully in the next video we will talk about an implantable hormonal contraceptive. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. See ya.